Welcome back, Tank Nation. This is Tonta Tank coming at you with a brand new video today. So, during World War II, Germany made a lot of super weapons, big, giant, massive cannons, giant tanks that are supposed to be like 12 times as big as the actual tank of today's tanks, which is pretty weird. But without further ado, let's see what type of super weapons Germany made during World War II.
German World War II superweapons. People can't get enough of them. The History Channel certainly couldn't back in the early 2000s. Throughout World War II, Germany built some of the biggest weapon systems that the world has ever seen. The go-to examples are the Schwer Gustav and its sister gun, the Dora. They were, and
Yeah, that's a map on Call of Duty World War II with that weapon in the middle. That's a beast of a weapon. And I heard they could shoot it maybe, I think it was one time every 60 seconds. No, 60 minutes, sorry. Yeah, they're pumping out every 60 seconds. That's bad for the enemy. But I think it was either 50, 60 minutes every time.
still are the biggest railway guns that were ever built. Weighing at over 1,400 tons, they could fire 7-ton shells up to 40 kilometers away, at a rate of 1 round every 40 minutes.
Okay, so 40 minutes. I was 10 minutes off, guys, so.
It's almost like a work of science fiction. The sheer scale of the gun is mind-boggling. One of the guns saw its first and only combat in the siege of Sevastopol. Its biggest accomplishment during the siege was when it blew up an undersea ammo dump. The ammunition dump was 30 meters under the Black Sea with 10 meters of concrete protection. Other massive German constructions include the massive submarine pens, which could even take direct hits from some of the biggest bombs that England could muster. Another weapon system is the La Cupola, a V2 rocket base in France. Its goal was to streamline the amount of time needed between V2 rocket launches. We're going to be focusing on a mega weapon that wasn't built. This weapon's development would have been more daunting to engineers than the other 3 projects.
So was that like a bunker that automatically, robotically made missiles? And when they were done with them, did they like take them, put them in a supply base, or did they launch them from the bunker? Well, it said it was never made, but Germany tried to do it. If they would have succeeded on that, I don't know, that would have been engineering work that still, it would have been amazing if they would have been able to do that. But bad for the enemies, and we don't want to see death because death is bad.
That I just mentioned. I'm talking about the Land Cruiser P1000 Vater, originally purposed by the director of Krupp in 1942.
That's the big tank that's like 12 times the size of actual normal tanks. I mean, look at that thing. A whole army could hide behind it, undercover. It's mind-boggling.
It would be a tank that would symbolize the power of German engineering. It would be so big that it would be in a new class of tank. The German army had several tank designations. There were light tanks like the Panzer I and II, medium tanks such as the Panzer III, IV and V, the Panzer V being better known as the Panther, heavy tanks like the Panzer VI, which referred to the Tiger and the King Tiger, or in German Königstiger. And now we get to the heaviest class of tank actually produced, super heavy tank. Only one actual super heavy tank design was made. This was the Panzer VIII, or better known as...
Look at the sheer size of that thing. Damn, all these fucking notifications. But yeah, I really wonder how big that thing is, because it is colossal.
Maus. The Maus weighed 180 tons and sported a turret with a 128mm gun. 2 Maus tanks were made, but never got out of the testing phase. There are rumours that a Maus was used in the defence of a testing facility it was based at. There's no evidence to back up the claims of it though. The Panzer 1000 Vater would be classed as a land cruiser, most likely due to the fact that it looks like a ship that is taken to the land. The P1000 was first proposed to Hitler in June 1942. The idea was for a tank to be armed with naval ship guns. The land cruiser would also be heavily armoured to stop any tank or artillery from being able to damage it. Design drawings were organised and shown to Hitler later that year in December 1942. Hitler was ecstatic with the new designs of his super heavy tank and thus christened it the Ratter. The specification of the Ratter had the frontal armour at 250mm thick. Sloped areas of the frontal armour would increase its effective thickness to over 300 to even 350mm depending on the angle of the armour.
So what you're saying is bullets and missiles aren't getting through or penetrating that armor? Dang, that's insane.
The main ornament of the Ratter would have been a modified warship gun turret. The original design of the turret was used in the German capital ship Gneisenau. The design had 3 280mm guns in one turret. The turret on the Ratter would have removed the middle gun in the triple turret. Using data from the version of this gun that was made and used on the battleship shows us how the same gun mounted on the Ratter would have performed. Armour-piercing rounds weighing 300 kilograms would have a maximum range of just under 36.5 kilometers. For the guns to shoot to their maximum range, they would need to be elevated up to their maximum height of 40 degrees. One interesting thing is that the gun turret used on the Ratter may have been one of the exact same turrets used on the Gneisenau. In early 1942, the Gneisenau was badly damaged in a port strike by British bombers. The ship underwent a lengthy repair process, which was changed into an upgrade for the old ship. The old 28cm guns and 15cm turrets would be refitted with larger guns up to 38cm.
Look at those shells. That's like the size, like twice the size of my arm. Dang, that's insane.
Hitler cancelled the upgrade in December 1942. The ship was disarmed and its 15cm and 28cm guns were then mounted into coastal batteries. Hitler was showing the Ratter plans in December 1942, so it is quite possible that one of the turrets from the ship may have been mounted onto the Ratter as it would cut down on the production costs. Whilst the twin gun turret is the main feature of this tank, that's not where the armament stops. There are disputes about where an additional 128mm gun would have been placed. Some sources say that it would be mounted facing forward in the hull, in a similar way to the French Char B or the American M3 Lee. Other thoughts are that there would have been two 128mm guns, and each one would be in their own turrets at either side at the rear of the engine deck. There's also a third theory that the 128mm gun would be mounted in the main turret. It would have been mounted in the middle between the two guns. This theory isn't as likely as the first two theories. Additional smaller caliber weapons would be used to defend the vehicle from air and infantry attack. Multiple 20mm gun positions will be scattered about the Ratter, some of them quad mounts. The anti-aircraft guns would be on the rear engine deck, and possibly two of the 20mm guns would be mounted on top of the main turret itself. Two heavy machine guns in ball mounts would be utilised for close infantry defence. Their location may have been either on the front or one on each side of the Ratter. The Ratter's hull length would be 35 meters long and 14 meters wide. It would be standing tall at 11 meters all the way to the top of the turret. Total crew inside would be variable depending on the internal layout. It is thought that the crew may be anywhere between 20 men at least minimum to maybe
20 men? Dang. Wow, I can't even believe that 20 men. I mean, hey, it's like 30 monster trucks put together. You know, guys, I'm joking, but that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, like and subscribe. Without further ado, I'm Hot to Tank Nation, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.